A bill designed to protect newborns against infanticide defeated on the Senate floor last night. Senate Democrats blocked the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act, which would have required doctors to treat infants that were born after failed abortions.
All the Democratic senators running for president voted against the Born Alive Act. The bill focuses on what happens to a baby after a botched abortion. It says doctors and nurses should provide the same care to those babies as they'd give to others born prematurely. This bill would punish doctors if they don't provide that treatment.
It would significantly interfere with the doctor-patient relationship.
44 Democrats voted against the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act.
The bill is solely meant to intimidate doctors and restrict patients' access to care and has nothing to do with protecting children.
This week, Senate Democrats blocked a bill designed to protect newborns against infanticide. The Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act would have required doctors to treat infants born after failed abortions. So how did the mainstream media cover it? Well, Kelsey Bowler is a senior writer for the Heritage Foundation and a visiting fellow for the Independent Women's Forum. Welcome, Kelsey.
Good morning.
So tell us, how did the media cover this?
That's a good question, and the short answer is they didn't cover it. Fox News was one of the only mainstream news organizations to cover this vote, and I think that speaks to more than just media bias. It's a dereliction of the media's duty to inform American citizens. Look, it shows that the media is really working overtime to protect Democrats, because I think many members of the media, journalists, know how unconscionable this vote really was when 80% of Americans support limiting abortion to the first 3 months of a woman's pregnancy. And, you know, already we're seeing the effects of these very extremist abortion positions and now infanticide on the left, where now we, for the first time since 2009, we have an equal number of Americans who identify as pro-life as they do pro-choice.
Right. Let's take a look at some of these numbers. I think you bring up a great point about how what the mainstream media has done. So we have ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. None of them had any mention of it. I'll also add, Kelsey, you know, Fox was very brave and brought on abortion survivors, and I've spoken to some of them. They have never ever been invited on any of the other networks. So I think they say it's a rare incident. That's why they didn't vote for this bill on the Democrat side, and yet there are actual human beings that are alive right now that have survived this procedure. Yesterday, Elizabeth Warren was confronted at a town hall on this issue. Let's take a look, and we'll come back on the other side.
What about the babies that survive abortions? How come they can't have health care?
Infanticide is illegal everywhere in America.
You voted against it.
Go ahead. Infanticide is illegal everywhere in America.
Clearly, she sees this as not a very popular position to take.
Right. This should have been an easy vote for Democrats and Republicans. And there's also been a lot of misinformation about this piece of legislation. It would not stop a single abortion from happening in the United States. It would simply protect babies who are born alive after a botched abortion. And again, the fact that the media is working overtime to protect Democrats from communicating to Americans where they really stand on this issue, I think is a dereliction of their duty as journalists to inform.
Yeah, it certainly brings up a lot of issues in an age when they're fighting back against things like fake news. So
Barack Obama is fending off new attacks on his voting record when it comes to abortion. CNN's Carol Costello is investigating. Carol, what are the allegations and what's the truth about Obama's abortion record?
Well, John, some are calling Barack Obama a baby killer because of a bill he voted down while he was in the Illinois State Senate. It was called the Born Alive Infant Protection Act, and it's come back to haunt him. But is it fair?
It's a charge that's been circulating online for months.
He'll let a baby die that does miraculously survive an abortion.
Anti-abortion conservatives like former Senator Rick Santorum have written op-eds about it, calling Obama a harsh ideologue. And conservative commentator and CNN contributor Bill Bennett has given voice to it in the Situation Room.
What about that vote in Chicago that turned the stomach even of NARAL and the liberal senators that said if a baby is born alive after a late-term abortion, you can throw it away. Barack Obama approved that.
What about that vote? In 2001, when Obama was an Illinois state senator, he and his colleagues considered a bill called the Born Alive Infant Protection Act, which provided that a live child born as a result of an abortion shall be fully recognized as a human person and accorded immediate protection under the law. The bill caused an uproar in Illinois, fueled by dramatic testimony by a former Chicago nurse, Jill Stanek.
I held this little baby who had Down syndrome between 21 and 22 weeks until he died for 45 minutes. And that instantly catapulted me into becoming a pro-life activist and passionate on this issue.